Hey guys, what's up? It's just Connor here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 5 things I wish I knew when first getting started in high ticket sales or the remote sales industry or just sales in general, okay? Now this is going to be applicable to you even if you're a complete beginner, right? You don't really know what sales is that much, or even if you're just getting started in a role, or even if you're relatively experienced. There's going to be a few takeaways from this video, considering that myself, over the past 4+ years, I've spent about $40,000 in my own sales training. So millions of sales at this point. It's like 4 or 5+ million around that mark. I've even stopped counting, and I've sold in like 10+ different industries. So I've been through the trenches. I've done this stuff. I've been involved in the industry for a good amount of time. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to tell you in this video, in fact, all of the stuff is going to be pretty relevant, right? So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So first things first is it's not going to be easy no matter what a guru tells you, right? A lot of the times when I first got started in this industry, I expected I was going to make $10,000 within my first 30 days. I'm going to be a baller, I'm going to be crushing it, and I'm going to be like a millionaire, right? By like 20 years old, right? 19 years old. Totally not going to happen, right? Just breaking that value for you. Yes, there are some unicorns out there. You might see testimonials or case studies of my students, right? Or other people online, how they've made all this money super quickly. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No, right? But I just want you to come in with that expectation of if financial, geographical, and financial freedom is worth it to you, how much are you willing to sacrifice? How much shit are you willing to eat, right? To, ultimately get to where you want to go, right? That's the most important thing here. A lot of times people come with a false expectation. They don't become a millionaire overnight, and then they leave the industry. That's why so many people, don't get success with these trainings or these courses that they enter into, is because they have a false expectation. So I'm going to break the veil for you. It's not going to be easy, right? It is simple, is what I like to tell people. It is simple, right? But it's definitely not easy, right? No great things come easy, especially wealth and becoming rich, right? And being very wealthy and financially independent, right? Okay, so point number 2 is opportunity is often more important than skills, right? I learned this the hard way. So I spent about $40,000 collectively in my own sales skills, right? Learning to get better at sales, and not even just from an ego perspective, all my mentors, all the people I was surrounded by that do 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 US dollars per month in commissions, all told me, Connor, you're absolutely fantastic. You're really, really good. You're better than all your peers, but you just don't have the right opportunity, right? And so the key thing here is understanding that if you don't sell for the right opportunity, if you don't find the right offer to work with, if you don't find the right business to work with, right, you can get as good as you need to be, but a good closer and a bad offer is going to make less than 5 or 10K per month, whereas a bad closer and a good offer could make 15 to 20K per month, even if they're awful. And I've seen this happen on an offer for an 8-figure business that I worked with. There was a guy who was about the 2nd or 3rd top performing rep on the team. Absolutely awful. Terrible sales process, awful tonality, not a lot of skill at all. Basically a robot, right? That's how I would describe him. Absolutely probably a nice guy, but he sucked at sales. I can guarantee that. And I know this because I'm good at sales. But he was still making $20,000 to $25,000 a month because he was on a really good offer, right? And that's a really key thing here. Not only was it a good offer, had a fantastic lead flow, it was all inbound, and he just basically followed the process to a T on what he was given, although it was awful, and he still made really, really good money, right? So it's really, really important is understand that investing in your skills is important, which is one of my points here in a second, but you need to understand that you need the opportunity to capitalize on those skills, okay? Point number 3, networking is critical, right? Now, what does that mean? The reason I say networking is critical is because, like I mentioned, opportunity is really critical. If you can get as good at sales as you want to be, but unless you have the opportunity to capitalize on it, then what are you going to do, right? So the thing is, with networking, I established a lot of my networking and relationships through investing heavily in a lot of training and courses. Do you have to do the same? No. Do I recommend it? Yes. But networking and getting involved in certain communities and building relationships with people can get you to places much, much quicker. For example, in my networking community, one of my students, Peter, he just landed a DM setting role with Jay Waller, who's a very, very famous influencer, and he got that through a connection that's inside of my training program. There's also another guy that I personally placed today with a multiple 7-figure entrepreneur here in Australia, doing appointment setting, and he just got on board in the program less than 24 hours ago, right? Does that mean inside the program you get guaranteed placement? Absolutely not. But there are offers that come across my table, and there's offers that come across multiple people's tables. So you just have to make sure that you know the right people and you get in front of the right relationships and you build those relationships. And I don't mean you probably say, Connor, I probably network right now, right? Especially if you've been in the industry for some time. I can tell you, you probably don't. Networking involves a lot of time, right? A lot of research, connecting with people in certain groups, finding people with high leverage authority. Because if you're front of mind to people that know people, guess what? You're going to get in front of those roles that make you a lot of money, okay? Third point. Fourth point, invest into better skills as soon as you can to capitalize on an opportunity. There's no point, as I mentioned, in just constantly investing in your skills if you don't have the opportunity to capitalize on, right? Just no point. So when you do find an opportunity to capitalize on and you follow the steps that I've given you just before on networking and finding the right opportunities, once you are in that position, that's when you invest even more heavily in your own skills and get some of the best sales training that you can find. Because why? Because, as I talk about in my previous videos, because sales is a meritocracy and it is, it's the best performer wins, that is, your income is not capped, right? And the better your sales skills are, the more you will earn. So the better you perform, the more money you'll earn. So your income, that's the great thing about sales, is the better you are, the more you get paid, right? And that's why it's meritocracy. So winners win, losers lose. So once you have an opportunity you can capitalize on, that you have a good amount of lead volume on, you can make more money, right? It's a clear distinction that you can, where you are right now, you can get much better. That's when I would suggest to invest into, again, another mentor if you need to be, for more like advanced sales skills, okay? Now, the fifth and final point is, not everything is your fault, but it's definitely your problem. This is a quote that I got from one of my mentors, Matt, and it stuck to me to this day. You have to understand that when you get into business, not everything may be your fault in the way that the marketing might be bad, or there's no leads, right? Or whatever it might be. There's so many problems that can come up as a salesperson, especially commission only, right? You have to understand that you have to take full responsibility for your results and the sales that you are doing. So for example, a lot of times, sometimes there's going to be bad marketing, which is going to result in a lower close rate. And it's also going to depend on the offer and what you're selling in the industry. There's so many different variables, right? But you have to make sure that you are taking accountability and responsibility for what you should be, right? A lot of the times, a lot of sales guys say, oh, look, the leads are shit and that's why I'm not making any money. A lot of the times it's not even the case, right? A lot of the times the salesperson actually lacks sales ability and they think that they're good, but they're just not, right? They either don't track their numbers or, they're not consistent with their sales process, right? They're not following a script, whatever it might be. It could be a plethora of reasons, but the key thing is, this is applicable to everything in life, but also in sales as well, is that not everything is your fault, but it definitely is your problem. And taking that level of accountability will result in you making way more income than the average sales rep, and just be ultimately way more successful in life. Okay, so with that said, guys, that's the 5 things I wish I knew when I first got started in high ticket sales. Really take those on board, because like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have the experience, I do have the money, I've invested into skills, I've worked in many, many industries. This is the hardcore facts, right? So it's really, really important. Take these lessons down, listen to them, actually take them on. And hopefully you found that video valuable. And I'll see you in the next video.